Hi everybody, Gary here. I don't do many of these, but I just received something very interesting in the mail that I wanted to share. I'm going to do an unboxing video, or more precisely an enveloping video. This envelope came from the Ukraine, Russian postmarks and stamps all over it. I might actually save the envelope. About 2.5 weeks ago, I ordered on eBay from Quinta Studios, from their eBay store, a revolution in decal technology. These are the instrument panels and displays for the Tamiya F-14 Tomcat cockpit in 1/48 scale. I've seen other people post about them on Facebook. I recently read a review about them after I had ordered them, and I went ahead and I placed the order from the company called Quinta Studios. They make a whole bunch of these for different airplanes. Um, this is again for the 1/48 scale Tamiya Tomcat. I've never built the Tamiya Tomcat. The detail in here is supposed to be pretty good. Looking at the cockpit, it is very sufficient, more than sufficient, but these supposedly add a whole new dimension, literally, to the instrument displays and the panels in the cockpit. So let's take a look. By the way, I ordered these, like I said, about 2.5 weeks ago. I knew they were coming from Ukraine, where the company is based. I was not expecting speedy delivery, but I think 2.5 weeks was quite reasonable. I paid $26 plus $5 shipping and tax. So I think the shipping charge was also reasonable, $31 in tax all told. So let's take a look what we got here. Okay, so here's the, I guess the instructions with the company logo confirming the 1/48 scale Tomcat instrument display. And we have two little resealable baggies with the cockpit panels, the side panels, the CRTs, and the other display panels. And here we have seat belts and the ejection pull handles, both the face curtain pull handles and the between the legs pull handle. For those of you who aren't aware, Quinta Studios decals use a process that actually adds some relief to all the buttons, which is quite interesting to me, and I was very curious to see what these look like. I'm even more curious about the process. That might be a video somebody else might post one of these days, or maybe Quinta Studios themselves. But taking a look at the displays, we have about 20 different panels, maybe a couple more. That include all the buttons, the bezels, the circuit breakers, all with the different colors in them. What a lot of modelers don't realize is most of these panels are very neutral, silver, white buttons, very few bits of color. I think modelers sometimes tend to overdo. In fact, I have over the years slightly overdo the little splashes of color we add in. But supposedly these have been very well researched, and I'm going to ultimately compare them to some photos I have in my Verlinden F-14 book and elsewhere. But these are the buttons, the panels. They look very complete, and if you were to touch them, you would feel every little button. It almost feels like Braille, if you can imagine that. Quite interesting. The radar displays appear to have an appropriate amount of sheen to them, which you would expect because they're simulating glass displays, basically. Very, very interesting. They almost have a little bit of a rubbery texture to them as well. And supposedly, well, not supposedly, but these do go on pretty much like decals. You moisten them, there might be another step involved, and then you apply them almost like you would decals. Now, to put them in the cockpit of the Tamiya Tomcat, you have to sand smooth all the existing buttons that are molded in. Here we have the seat belts, and 1, 2, 3. They give you 3 sets of seat belts, over the head pull handle, ejection pull handles, and between the legs pull handles. Of course, you need 2 sets for the Tomcat, so they give you a third, I suppose, in case you mess up, or if you buy a couple of these, you have enough for 3 different F-14 builds. So very detailed again, very small decals, but any modeler who's been building for a while will probably be reasonably comfortable handling these with some needle nose tweezers. It doesn't look like a particular challenge. And here we have the paperwork, which has the Quinta Studios logo up top. Here's a kind of instruction sheet. It's in multiple languages, or at least 2 languages. The full front is English, and the back, I suppose, is Russian Cyrillic. The instructions have a thank you note to the customer, a brief explanation of the 3D process. I'll have to read it more closely later. And they do acknowledge the glossy look of the radar displays. And they've got some 3D working tips, again, which I'll read later, and I'll have to take these to heart before I apply them. I also recently found a very nice review on Facebook of these very decals, and I saved that review because that had some good information and some tips on there as well. So there we have it. I'm really looking forward to giving these a try. I highly encourage you to check them out. There's some stateside vendors, I'm told, that carry these now, but I went directly to the source, Quinta Studios eBay store. That's Quinta. Actually, Quinta Studio, not Studios. And there you'll find all their various products. If these work out, then I wouldn't resist buying them for other airplanes. By the way, there's some people who are saying, you know, this is almost cheating when it comes to detailing the cockpit of your model. I don't really see it that way. I think anything that enhances the build, that can add some detail with minimal effort, I think that's a good thing, especially for modelers like myself and older, who may have slightly diminished eyesight. These are just for reading and for building. I don't need them all the time. Nonetheless, I need them. I definitely need them for my builds. Or if your hands are less steady than they used to be, there's I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think it's going to add something to the model. I just looking at these, I feel good in saying that this seems like a real revolution in model building. So I wish all good things for Quinta Studios, and hopefully these will go on nicely. I'll let you know. It might be a year or 2 before I get to this model kit, but now I've got the accessory decals for the cockpit panels. Oh, one more thing. This is the schematic of where to place all the parts. It looks pretty complete, and I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm really looking forward to doing this, so check them out. Thanks for watching. And if you have built them, or you do build them as a result of watching this, post your thoughts below. Thanks a lot.